All right, let's get right back out to the site to College Station. Welcome in CBS Sports sideline reporter Jamie Erdahl. Jamie, first start out with Zach Calzada. I mean, what a gamer. What does it say about him? He gets knocked out of the game because of injury, comes back in and helps lead the Aggies to victory.
Well, Hakeem, I'll tell you, we just finished talking to Jimbo Fisher, and he did confirm what I thought I saw with my own eyes on the sideline, which is his shoulder, his non-throwing shoulder, did separate in that injury. It was hanging loose. He couldn't get control of it. When they took him into the medical tent, they put the shoulder back into place. They put that sleeve on him, and he comes back in and plays the way that he does. He did the same thing in that Alabama game. This quarterback is tough and ridiculous leader for this team, and the sideline buys into it. As I said at the Alabama game a couple weeks ago, a completely different young man than when we saw him in those early starts, for example, against Arkansas. To see him behave that way, come back after that kind of injury, and not just hand the ball off for the rest of the game, complete some throws that put Texas A&M in the best position they could to win this game.
How about Texas A&M both running the football, Jamie, and then defensively with the scoop and score? Really, I mean, look, it wasn't the greatest offensive game in terms of Texas A&M, but they put on a show on the ground, and then also their defense continues to show up week in and week out.
Yeah, in a game like this, when it's just a battle back and forth, what do you need? You need your run game to pick up the pace because you need the clock to move, because if you want to possess the ball, because if no one's scoring, once you get points on the board, you want to keep the ball and get that run yardage up and up and up. And then for the defense to step up the way that they did, truly a snowball effect, especially in the second half with this defensive line. They were having a party in the Auburn backfield, which I know the Auburn Tigers didn't like dealing with. And Bo Nix, he had a frustrating afternoon. He just didn't seem to settle in, and the Texas A&M defense, to their credit, they were the one that upended him and made him very uncomfortable here today in College Station.
It is now 4 straight wins for Texas A&M. Of course, the winning streak starting with the upset of Alabama. What did Jimbo Fisher say post-game about what this win meant to his program?
I think he's just focused on one game at a time, which I know is sometimes a nauseating answer to hear from these guys. But when things weren't going well for Texas A&M, they got back to the basics a month ago in practice. They had admitted they weren't practicing to the best of their ability, and they continue to say from player to coach, that is what has changed for this Texas A&M program, and that is why they've been able to string these wins together. And now we're into November, and as you said, 4 straight, and it's all because this team has clicked once again, not just behind this experienced defense, but because Zach Calzada has truly taken control.
Texas A&M improves to 16-3 since the start of last season. Big win at home there against Auburn. Jamie Erdahl joining us postgame here on CBS Sports HQ. Jamie, thank you. So the Aggies defeat the Auburn Tigers at home 20-3. The road team had won the last 2 meetings, and Texas A&M flipping the script here as they win by 17 thanks to a defensive touchdown by Michael Clemens. And again, a really nice day from the ground game for Texas A&M. Isaiah Spiller, 21 carries, 112 yards. Devon A-Chain, 10 carries, 98 yards. As a team, they run for 217 yards. And another test next week as they visit Ole Miss. As they that's really the only test left on their schedule for Texas A&M, very much in the conversation in the SEC West. Let's get more reaction here. Welcome in 2-time Super Bowl champ Bryant McFadden, CBS Sports HQ college football analyst Barrett, Sallee, and B-Mac. The Doom Squad did not let you down. You said at halftime they need to get a defensive touchdown. They got a defensive touchdown. You also said the ground game was key in this game. Isaiah Spiller needed to have a big day. He did. Your reaction to what you saw from Texas A&M, especially after a sleepy first half?
I'm surprised, but then I'm not surprised. Leading in today's matchup against Auburn, I mean, their defense has been, on point. They've been balling. They've been harassing quarterbacks, opposing quarterbacks, running backs. They've been suffocating offenses. And once again, they did this. But not only did they suffocate Bo Nix and his offense, they took the ball away from Bo Nix. They put points on their scoreboard in a time where Zach Calzada and his offense couldn't get things going. And that's why I felt like the adjustments in halftime would be for the Doom Squad to go out, continue to ball out, but take the football away and put points on the scoreboard, or put your offense in prime position to be able to score. They did so today. This defense continues to add and develop confidence, not just on the guys with the guys on the front, but the guys in the second level, the secondary guys. I mean, today they had 4 sacks. They had 6 tackles for loss. They forced 7 punts, and they forced 2 turnovers and put a touchdown on the scoreboard. That's elite-like football. That's elite-like football. Week in and week out, they've gotten better. And the way they're going with the consistency, man, I understand things are still a little wide open in the SEC West. But they got a legit shot if their defense continues to perform like they did today.
Yeah, B-Mac, it was incredible. I mean, you look at what Auburn has. They have running backs. Tank Bigsby and Jarquez Hunter, they averaged 2.5 yards per play on the ground. 3.2 yards per play overall for the Tigers. Texas A&M's defense played lights out. And you're right. You know, this was a performance they needed to have because, look, they very much are in this SEC West race. They've got wins over Auburn and Alabama. So they hold those tiebreakers. In the event of a 3-way tie, it's over. It's all Aggies. So I think right now Texas A&M has got to be feeling really good about itself because its defense continues to play awesome. And then Zach Calzada, man, what a warrior for that team with that injury coming back and getting the job done. So it was an all-around great effort from A&M top to bottom, and man, you needed that. If you're Texas A&M, you had to get something from your defense. You had to slow down that running game, and they basically neutralized Tank Bigsby and Jarquez Hunter the entire game.
B-Mac, how about the toughness from Zach Calzada? Remember, he got thrust into the starting role after Haynes King broke his right tibia in the second game of the season, and then Calzada has come in, now leading them to 4 straight wins, of course, the biggest over Alabama about a month ago. He gets injured in this game, left shoulder popped. We heard Jamie post-game, goes into the medical tent. They put a harness on. He comes back out, helps lead them to victory. I mean, how about the toughness from this kid when you know they don't have a ton of options after him?
I love the toughness, guys, but I don't like the contact. Zach, get down. Get down. Depth at the quarterback position is something Texas A&M, they don't have. If he goes down, basically walk-on, right? I think it's a walk-on that's behind Zach.
Blake Boast.
You don't want to be in that situation. Yes, you don't want to be in that situation, Zach. Get down. He's going to feel it tonight. He's going to feel it tomorrow. And because of that pain that he will have to endure for the next few days, I'm willing to bet he's going to slide. Go ahead and perfect that second, that baseball slide into second base because we don't need you to show how tough you are with the football. I don't think Jimbo questions his toughness. Anybody on his team questions that. But you got to be smart, Zach. So, yes, I love coming back and fighting. Coming back and fighting, that's cool. He did the same thing against Alabama. Remember, he got knocked out. I forgot what injury it was, but he ended up coming back in the ballgame, if I'm not mistaken. But you got to be smart because they don't have any big-name players behind you. Better yet, scholarship players behind you. But I love his toughness, but he just got to be a little smart, just a little smart.
Yeah, I think baseball teams are still sort of in their fall practices, right? So go over there, get a couple slides in, get the coaching staff to work on it. But look, I think right now what you have to let Zach Calzada know is A, you're the only option, but B, this is not a running quarterback system. This is not a system designed for the quarterback. Now, I didn't understand the play he got hurt on, why you would call a draw in that situation on 3rd and long on that end of the field. Clearly, they wanted to set themselves up for a field goal, but man, you got to give the ball to somebody else. If you're just trying to run a play to get a little closer, don't give your quarterback and put him in a situation where he's going to be at risk like that. But yeah, they're going to be telling him to slide. And look, I mean, if you're Zach Calzada, I know you're a gamer. I know you want to make that big play. It's hard to think like that in the heat of the moment. But yeah, he's going to have to learn to get down. Yeah,
B-Mac, you're spot on in terms of why didn't he slide. The other thing I kind of had a question about Zach Calzada, why was he in the game at the end? What are we doing here? Like the victory is in hand. Is that something that Jimbo's trying to get him out there for a couple extra reps, or what are we doing there at the end of the game?
Jimbo I don't think Jimbo trusts the option behind Zach. So he'd rather just keep not an injured player, a player that's probably dealing with some little ailments here or there because of the ball game, and just to understand and know we will seal the deal because Jimbo probably has little faith in the backup quarterback outside of Zach Calzada. That's the only thing I can say. But like I said, Zach, man, get into the ice tub tonight. Don't wait tomorrow. Tonight, because you got another big-time matchup next week. It don't get any easier.
B-Mac, Isaiah Spiller, you said he needed to be the best running back on the field today, and arguably he was. Devon Achane nearly as good. He had nearly 100 yards as well. but that Texas A&M run game coupled with the defense really carries them to victory in this game. And those were two big points that you made pregame. When you look at Isaiah Spiller, and then they have basically a two-headed monster there with Devon Achane, what does that give Texas A&M?
Man, listen, they got a thunder and lightning type of combination in the backfield. The thunder is Spiller. He's the guy that's going to lean on you, lean on you, lean on you. The lightning is Achane. If you're not careful, if you play with the wrong gap, you don't have proper containment, he's going to take a yard. That's a nice two-headed monster to have if you're A&M in a very, very difficult matchup if you're playing against A&M. And today, they just continue to do what they've been doing. Over the last 3 weeks, guys, they've been rolling. Isaiah Spiller's been rolling. The offensive line has done a great job. We don't talk about the offensive line enough, in my opinion, seeing how well they have performed, especially during this winning streak. So me personally, that has to be the best recipe for the dish they're cooking in the kitchen. If you can go ahead and sprinkle a little bit of Spiller, not a little, a lot, you're going to have a nice dish served to whoever it is you're playing against.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're really important, especially considering the way this season has played out, right? Because you had Haynes King going in. He was more of a downfield threat. He was going to have a big say in the rushing attack. And then suddenly he's gone, and Zach Calzada comes in and has to figure out what the identity of the offense is. And so you have Isaiah Spiller, you have Devon Achane that you know you can run the football. They've done that effectively in big games. But also using those guys out of the backfield, I think, has helped Zach sort of ease into a more prominent role on this team. So, the wide receiver position outside of tight end Jalen Weidemeyer at Texas A&M, still a little shaky. Well, not necessarily shaky, but there's no superstar out there, right? So if you're Zach Calzada, you need somebody or at least one position group to be able to help you out other than Jalen Weidemeyer. And those running backs catching passes out of the backfield has really helped him. So I think in normal situations, having two running backs like this is great. But for this particular season of Texas A&M football, the way it's played out, the contribution they've made is absolutely immeasurable.
BMAC, are they going to go with the Doom Squad defensively here as they get a defensive touchdown courtesy of Michael Clemens?
Well, you know what? I'm texting right now. I'm texting my good friend Jerry Johnson on the staff. I let him know what I said. I told him he can have the name, you know what I mean? They ain't really got to give me anything. Just give me a shirt. Give all of us a shirt. You know what I mean? I think I understand, Barrett, your Auburn ties, but I think if A&M sends us a shirt, I think Barrett can put it on as well. So we're going to see. You know what? Maybe a little later tonight. I know Jimbo has some recruits. He got to entertain and stuff like that. I'll shoot Jimbo a text as well. Where, Jimbo's always caught up in the moment. He talks fast and he texts fast also. So maybe I can see what we can do. But if they go ahead and go with Doom Squad, I think it's only right. They just send us some shirts, right? We can get us some shirts, right? And wear them.
BMAC, if it's free, it's for me. I mean, look at behind me. I got Alabama, I got Georgia, I got Auburn, I got everything behind me, right? If it's free, it's for me. If they want to send me Boom Squad posters, it will go right there, right behind me. So next week, you will see Texas A&M featured prominently behind my shiny little receding hairline right here on HQ.
BMAC, good on you. You had the under as well, 49.5. It was never in doubt. Never in doubt. We both won. I had Texas A&M minus 4.5. You had the under, 49.5.
No question.
Let's
keep it going.
We're gonna have to come up with a nickname for you and I. If they don't take Doom Squad, it's gonna be you and I Doom Squad. We're gonna come up with that.
I tell you this much, guys. If this parlay hit for me, I'm not going to sleep tonight. I'm gonna stay up and celebrate inside my house in my basement, even though I don't drink, any adult beverages. I'm gonna celebrate and get ready for NFL and run it right back.
Well,
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.